Hey pilots, this is Craig Gam with Paraglider Service USA, and today I'm going to go over line core inserts. And we use these for shortening upper lines when they're unsheathed lines, and you may have one or two lines in a line group that are longer than the rest of the line group. So to bring them in sync with that line group, we'll go ahead and do a line core insert into the line that feeds them in order to shorten it so we can get those in sync with the rest of the line group. So let's go about that procedure. You're going to need a few tools. You're going to need a good pair of shears that can cut Dyneema or Aramid without dulling. These D-splicers work really well. And you'll need a pair of locking tweezers and guitar string. I use different sizes of gauge guitar string to open up the core of unsheathed lines. And so you just find the appropriate size. In this case, it's a 22 gauge guitar string for this unsheathed line. And the line that you're going to insert into let's say this is the line that's the midline that's feeding upper lines, that needs to be shortened because I have two lines in a line group that are longer than the other two in the line group. So this portion or segment of line is feeding those, and if I insert a line into it, it'll shorten it. So in this case, I always use a line that's a smaller, next size down in diameter. I don't want to use, if this is 90 kilogram, I don't want to insert 90 kilogram line inside its core. It'll be too stressful for it. So I do the next size down, and then I always taper the ends. So here's the tapered end on it, and I'll get my guitar string and I'll go about showing how I do this. So I'll go ahead and insert guitar string into the core. Let me get a segment portion here. So we'll squish it up so it opens up. And I'll get it inside and just milk it on. And I'll milk it on this whole length. This guitar string, they're about the length of my hand. It's probably about 7-8 inches, and I'll go ahead and milk it on the whole way. Just keep, oops, and it'll pop. If it pops out, just back up and then refeed it. Milk it on till you get this whole thing covered. And when I get about 6-7 inches of line inside the core of another line, then I can, it varies because the different line diameters will shorten the length of the line, different varying degrees. So you just have to experiment. It's all trial and error. But if I fill this thing up all the way across, I'll know I'm pretty close to what I need. I always put more than I need because I pull line out if it's too much until I get the measurement I want. So let's say I got this pretty much filled up for this line, so I'll poke it out like so, and then I'll take the next size down in diameter line to insert into it, and I'll open this up and stick it in between like. See what happens when you have coffee, shaking. So I'll put the end in, I'll bend it over like that, and then I'll milk this back over it. Start at this end, push it back this way. And my line popped out, so that happens. Let's get it back in there. There we go. Bend it over, and I'll milk this up over it. It's getting stuck at this bend here. Let me undo it and stick it. There we go. So now I have it up to the line, and then I'm going to actually milk it over it so it goes inside the core. It keeps getting stuck over the end here. There we go. So my thinner line is going inside it now. So I'm going to pull this guitar string milk this all the other direction now to get it to come out the other opposite end here. So here it comes, the end. Right here. There we go. So there she be. And so I want to get that right back inside just so it's not sticking out at all. So I'll milk the bit larger line over it until it just goes back inside like so. And it's been tapered, so it'll be a gradual transition there. Then I'll pinch this and I'll milk it the opposite direction. And so now I have a tail hanging out. This, I don't know if you can, let me get to the camera better. So I have this midline that's has the core insert into it, tight. It's all tight now, and this is the part that's hanging out. And I'll go ahead and take a measurement now of the two lines that I want shortened, and to see where I'm at. And usually I'm a little bit more than I want because I've put in more line than I desire, because I can always take line out. I can't put back in once I have it in. And so let's say the measurements are a little bit long, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pinch it here and pull out just lightly because I want to pull some out. And I'll pull some of the line core out, maybe like an inch, like so. And then I'll milk this back down tight, and I'll remeasure it to see where I'm at, and if I'm, until I get to the numbers that I desire. And then when that's the case, let's say I've got the numbers I want, now I'm gonna go ahead and get this back inside so that, you know, both ends are inside, and I'll go ahead and lock her back here a couple inches, like so, and then I'll milk this back so I can cut it before it's opening, like so, and then I'll cut her on her taper, get it tapered like so. So it's, if you can see it, I've tapered the end, and now that it's that way, the part that I pulled back, I'll go back over the top of it so it's inside now, and then I'll milk this over so you can see it. There she be. She's all tucked inside now, and it's tapered. Transition's gradual. It's a line diameter smaller than the line that I've trying to shorten, and so it's less likely that it's going to stress this line, but it's enough to shrink it or shorten the line to the length that I want. So there we be. That's how I go about line core inserts. Thought I'd share that with you all. Of course, if they're sheet lines, you can't do this procedure. You'll have to actually do loops in the midline or upper cascades at the line-to-line connections in order for that to happen. You may need to shrink or shorten the line, but I thought I'd share the line core and insert because it's much quicker than taking all the lines apart when you have, because the majority of the gliders out there have their mid and upper lines all unsheathed. All right, pilots, take care out there. Fly safe.